Knicks yesterday announced the signing of forward Kevin Seraphin, and the first thing that came to mind to me was, how was this guy available? How does Washington let this guy walk for $2.8 million over just a one-year deal? He was an integral part of what they did last year rotation-wise. It was about 15 or 16 minutes per game, and that's kind of where he is around in his career. Those guys are really valuable, and I think the Knicks did very well here, getting a guy who, for me, most importantly, will play. He logs a lot of minutes, not per game necessarily in terms of minutes per game, but daily games. Like, he comes in and he'll give you that 15 or 16 minutes every single night. You need those guys specifically on the front court. He's a very good screener, very good rebounder, efficient scorer, which metrics folks will love. But a guy who, when you combine with Robin Lopez and Porzingis and Melo, obviously, and Kyle O'Quinn, a nice piece. Not a guy, again, who will get you 25 minutes. He's only 25 years old, so a lot of upside's gotten better every year. To me, just a really solid move by Phil and getting a solid player. He's a solid pro who is tough, plays with an edge, makes no bones about going out there and mixing it up. It's a toughness element that they haven't had, and let's be fair, they haven't had the health element either. Whether it's Amari, whether it's Tyson Chandler, obviously Melo last year, Bargnani, Rasheed Wallace, going back a couple of years. Kenyon Martin would get hurt going back a couple of years. What they have are guys now who are entering into the prime of their career, physically in great shape. Not a lot of miles, but consistent minutes and consistent games. And to me, consistency is what's going to be the first kind of linchpin, start into building this thing into what they hope to be a winning type of situation. If Derek Fisher can go in the locker room every single night and recognize that these 5 players will be, in the front court, in the rotation every single night, that's going to make his job a lot easier. He can focus on other aspects of what he needs to do coaching-wise. I think front court is very similar to offensive line in football, where if you have guys who show up every week in and week out, you're going to be able to build a good running game, with the consistency of the rhythm of just playing together at high speeds. If you have those holes because of injuries, a lot of things can happen. It could be the one brick that kind of just causes everything to crumble, and that was the case for the Knicks in the front court. People can say, yeah, of course, they should have been focusing more on shooting guard. I think Aaron Aflalo is going to play 30, 35 minutes. I think you paid him to come in here and to be the starter and to play those minutes. I think Galloway and I think Grant, can share some time at the 2 as well. Obviously with Calderon, I think they need to improve there going forward, and they will have the money to do so after this year. But I think you really have to shore up the offensive line, and in terms of the front court, not the offensive line, but in terms of the front court, you really have to shore that up, and I think Phil did a great job doing that with Seraphin. I think he's had a really solid offseason, and fans should be excited going forward. I'm Tommy D. See you next time.